I hope everybody's got their proton packs because we're talking about haunted places again in this episode of Beyond the Borderline with your hosts Connor, Cam, Phil, and Ryan.
I love it. I love it. Although
Welcome
I
back.
do have to say, I believe, and this isn't a criticism at all because I love your intros. I believe you used that one in the one where we talked about our own paranormal experiences. Proton packs.
Oh,
It does sound familiar.
Guarantee. But
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fitting. It's very
but
fitting.
hey,
It's fitting.
this is our 24th episode, so there's only so many intros, especially ghost related intros. So
No, I'm recycling intros. I can't be doing that. That's
Yeah.
that's embarrassing.
Recycling's good, just like they recycled the corpse wax. If you
What's
don't
it
know,
Oh boy! If you watched last episode,
I was
If
gonna
you
say
listened-
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna study the game tapes and I'm gonna come back stronger for
the game
Nice.
tapes.
yeah, get in the
Nice.
video room. You're gonna need some time in there. But
All right.
yeah, if you guys don't know what I mean by corpse wax, just go and listen to our last episode 23. It's pretty nasty. So,
It's
It is,
filthy.
if
it
you
is exactly how you would picture it to be.
yeah, if you feel like throwing up in your mouth a little bit, or fainting possibly, then
We
check-
suggest for this one to listen to us with a full stomach,
sure. Well, not too full.
not too full, comfortably
If
full.
you're gonna,
Maybe
if you're gonna have a shower, make sure you have a shower beforehand.
And don't eat anything like gooey while you're listening to it.
oh boy, no,
You guys are just
have
being
some.
cruel now.
Stay
No
away
marshmallows.
from the Campbell's chunky soup.
Oh,
boy.
my! You guys
Just,
are just
you
being
know.
cruel.
Yeah. But anyway,
you need clean macros like some sushi.
Oh yes. Sushi.
Anywho,
So we talked about haunted locations last episode. We covered what is it? Banff
Banff
Fairmont.
Springs, yeah, the Fairmont in Banff.
the
yeah.
Fairmont Hotel. Some crazy stuff that goes on there. And then the Paris catacombs, which are home to 7 million corpses. Lovely. So this time we will be picking the brains of Phil and Connor to see what haunted locations they love best. And yeah, we'll dive into that and see what we see.
I don't know.
And-
I don't know if I'd say I love them, but
No, well,
yeah,
whatever.
we're gonna discuss them.
Sure.
I
I
We're
find them
intrigued by them.
particularly interesting.
Particularly intriguing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Who wants to take us away?
all right, I'll
to
take
a
it away.
secret place.
All right, so
Oh, sweet escape.
Sweet escape. Yeah.
I want to start off with we're keeping it national in Canada.
Eh?
I wanted to talk about absolutely their butt. This
Even
place
with-
called Tranquille Sanatorium in Tranquille, BC.
Tranquille.
Yes, just to give some background, this sanatorium was built in 1907 to treat tuberculosis patients, which was also known at the time as the White Plague.
Ooh.
It was a ranch at first, but then was kind of repurposed as it was scouring the entire world at the time. And they just needed, like now, we just need beds for hospitals.
Mhm.
And originally it was called the King Edward Sanatorium and served only to treat tuberculosis, but as that became less of an issue and as they were able to get a hold of things, it was repurposed to treat the mentally ill. So you can just forecast how that would turn out.
It's like
Um,
Shutter Island.
That's right. That's right. So it was reopened in 1959 to treat the mentally ill. And then in 1983, it functioned as a detention center for the youth. And
Those darn kids breaking
those
the
meddling
law.
kids.
I don't know if subjecting kids to a once tuberculosis ward was the best choice.
It's,
No, it's
you know,
completely,
times were tough. Times were tough.
completely humane. What do you say?
Yeah. And just to set the stage, very eerie, very spooky. From the outside, it just looks like a pretty beefy motel.
Right.
Easy. Okay.
It's got windows and stuff, like pretty large. But as you go into it, um, it becomes this totally different place where you would have, because it's not so, basically they have kind of the first floor, which would be, it was a pretty big building, so you would have like a cafeteria, things like that. And then as you go downward, basements are always fucked, but there are said to be, well, there are different pathways underneath the building that were used by staff to get around. So similar to like the Denver airport, and things like that. There's kind of like these little corridors and areas to get to and from A to B, and they're used by staff. Once the and thousands upon thousands of people died in this building.
Nice.
And so there's been some paranormal activity, so to speak, especially underneath the building. There's this, it's called the Padova City, where you would be taken on tour, because it's now like dilapidated and you can just, it's abandoned. So like they have tours and stuff because of all the popularity of it. And if you've ever heard of the Russian sleep experiment,
Oh, dude, I got those vibes. I literally was thinking of that 4 seconds ago.
picture that, but 14 times worse.
What's the Russian sleep experiment? I've
Damn.
never heard of that before.
Yeah,
We
you gotta
will,
brief us on this.
We definitely do. But essentially, basically any convent that treated the mentally ill, just it never aged well.
Yeah, here, I'll just
So-
give a brief like 2 sentences. Like the Russian sleep experiment, it's a creepypasta, so it's not like confirmed, but it's allegedly a Russian experiment where they put like 5 dudes in a room and like deprive them of sleep to see how long they could function. And
Mhm.
I think there was like some gas involved that they pumped in to try and make them like, it was to test like soldiers, to see how long they could go without sleeping, see how they would react after certain stimuli and stuff. And I think the gas was something to like help them with that.
it was
like
a
make them,
stimulant, I believe.
yeah, like keep them awake, I guess.
Mhm.
But anyway, legend goes that eventually, the people running the experiment just started hearing horrifying screams and like monstrous sounds from inside the room, and people begging to be killed and shit.
Wow.
And then
And for the most part, they were pretty well isolated.
mhm,
They had very little interaction with their test subjects,
mhm,
to kind of prove that their experiment would work. And essentially, the rumor goes that they became absolutely fixated on this gas that was pumped in, so that they would literally die if they turned it off.
yeah,
And basically, if you look up pictures and things, there are these very frail people at the end of it. Like you could see their jaw because they've just gnawed off their mouth, like you could see like the innards of their teeth.
Oh.
yeah. Like apparently they had
They were
like torn themselves
cannibals.
apart.
They were literally eating themselves,
Yeah, like they had just gone insane, like absolutely
like
insane,
insane.
and were just like, and weren't they like super strong as well? Apparently, according to it, like they tried to take them down, and it was like,
They couldn't.
5 dudes had to like strap this dude to a stretcher and take him to the
Yeah.
hospital.
Were they not feeding them?
I think very minimally.
Yeah, I don't know, but again, it's a creepypasta, so it's not like for sure, obviously. But the Soviets did do a lot of fucked up shit, as
Oh,
did
yeah.
everyone, the Americans.
Oh
the
yeah, as
Nazis.
did the Americans, and yeah.
Actually, I saw a video once. I'm not sure I think Phil, we may have seen this together, but do you remember that video of the dog's head that was kept alive by that Soviet mad scientist
Oh
by
yes,
like
yes,
feeding
yes.
oxygen and blood into it, but it was just a head? I don't know if
Yeah,
that was legit. I
That's
forget. I
messed
think
up.
we watched it
yeah.
when we were like 12, but anyway.
I feel
Phil,
like
so
creepypastas are an entirely different series of video.
Oh yeah,
Alright,
let's do one of those.
Absolutely,
Let's do one of
absolutely.
Phil,
So
those.
basically,
tell us about the
yeah,
ghost story though.
Yeah.
yeah, I will. So there's lots of different accounts uh of people that have toured and just gone on their own in the basement. Just picture, like dead end hallways, like a bunch of exposed pipe, very little lighting, um, echoes, things like that. Um, I would say the most prevalent encounter would be of the youth that they housed during their time of operation. Um, Kind of like the main focus of these sightings is just seeing like young children uh,
Oh,
laughing and
Oh,
playing,
why
and
are
like
kid ghosts the worst? Like
they're
the
worse,
creepiest
they're
because
ghosts.
bad.
there's a presumption of innocence, right? Like,
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's like, and just picture like Jack in the Box type shit.
Oh, that
Just
is
brutal. Just
terrifying.
like, oh,
just
terrible,
that
terrible.
laugh that goes like,
Like basically that.
Oh,
Like
that
just
was terrifying.
picture the movie It times
yeah,
4,000.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
That's
speaking of which, you guys
that's
should have seen
basically
the freaking house that we just stayed in.
Oh yeah,
no.
Yeah. So for
it was
anyone
a
listening,
demon house.
Ryan and I were just in Alberta for some work business. And we stayed in this massive 14,000 square foot house on the outskirts of Red Deer. And it was absolutely horrifying to be in a house that, you know, huge, just the two of us,
And
isolated.
empty.
You had to drive up this really sketchy dirt road into this wooded area. And it was like, okay, like this is where we die. This is it.
Yeah,
And the top floor was like a
a chapel.
chapel. There's a huge cross on the wall.
Well,
This,
to make matters worse, in the top floor in the chapel, there was this spot at the back wall there because it's carpet floor at the top. There was this like dark spot on the carpet floor that looked like much darker, like a stain almost from the rest of the carpet. And right beside that dark spot, there's a window, and on the windowsill was just a massive amount of dead flies.
like 50 of them. So we were like, okay, this was where
Oh,
a
boys.
demon was summoned. But anyway, yeah, Phil, keep going.
So I don't have like a specific story for you guys. I'm just gonna throw a picture in our chat, and you can just have a glimpse at what on earth this is.
Oh no.
And this is the
Uh-oh.
outside of it.
Oh
So
no.
it is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I'm looking at a few right now. And the hallways are just
Exactly what you would picture.
not nice. Like, oh, I can see things lurking in there, and it's just a picture.
Yep. So it's in the chat now. It's just
Oh,
absolutely
boy.
terrifying.
Let me see this. Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
do it,
I'm
yep.
good. I'm good
Mhm.
Once we have video podcasts, guys, we'll be able to
to share that with you.
share this stuff with you, which, by the way, is coming very soon.
Mhm.
And I think in terms of rankings, I think this spot specifically is one of the supposed most haunted in the entire country.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading here. I just looked it up briefly. Apparently, part of it's been turned into an escape room.
Oh,
Now that would be crazy.
that's wild.
Okay, guys, we're gonna fly out to BC this summer and do this escape room for you, and we'll let you know our experiences with that as well.
Oh
Dude,
my good God.
it's just the four of us doing the escape room, and then there's someone else in the room with us. You don't know if it's just
Yeah.
like part of the escape room, if it's one of the people that puts it on, or if it's just a fucking ghost.
Yeah, if we never release another episode after,
You know why.
we'll tell you in the episode before we leave, and then if you don't hear from us, someone alert the authorities, please. but yeah, no, that would be cool. But yeah, it looks horrifying. All these like mental asylums. So many of the haunted places I look up are like former mental asylums, and it's like, God, like imagine being in one of those when it was operating.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
horrifying.
Terrible, terrible.
Do you have any more on it?
No, that's about it for that one.
Sweet. All right, Connor,
All right. So
you're
for this
on
one,
the spot.
we're gonna do a hop, a skip, and a leap across the pond to Australia.
Ooh,
Yeah,
our
and
cousins.
the place we're talking about is the Monte Cristo Homestead.
Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah. So essentially, um, I guess in the late 1800s, this family had built a homestead. It was like right when there was like new. It was in right when they're putting new railroad tracks in, essentially, and so the Monte Cristo Homestead was going to act as a sort of like a hotel for people on the riding the train, that sort of thing.
Like a pit stop.
And pardon?
Like a pit stop on the way.
Yeah, exactly. Just somewhere to stay if you needed to spend the night or whatever. Um, yeah, and so essentially what had happened was apparently like the father of the house, he was a pretty like cool person. Everyone, Christopher Crawley was his name. Everyone seemed to like him. Apparently was a nice enough guy. And then his wife was apparently kind of the opposite. At first she was nice, but then in her older age she became kind of like a hermit, and then just a little bit crazy. Apparently she ruled the house with an iron fist. And so there's in this house there's supposed to be like 10 ghosts.
Oh,
And so um it was and I'm getting purchased by a family named the Ryans in like
Hey,
yeah, in the 1960s. And one of the daughters stayed in the house that was supposed to be or one in the room, sorry, that was supposed to be like Chris Crawley's house, or Chris Crawley's room, sorry. And she'd like apparently like it felt eerie to her and stuff like that. And her family one time had like a party, but she was younger, so they put her to bed early, and every hour one of her sisters would go in and check on her. And so I guess it was like one of the daughters, the youngest daughter's turn, who was like 12, to go check on her. And so she went, and there was an old man dressed in old clothes just staring, like leering over the bed. So she
ooh.
screamed and went and got her parents. Her parents came in the room. They checked the whole house. There was nobody that matched that description. And then later on, they figured out who like used to own the house. And she was like, "Yeah, that was the guy that was standing over the bed." Um, there's a bunch of messed up stuff that happened. There was another one. There was like one of the stable boys was sick one day, and then so he was too sick to work, and so he went and he stayed in his like in his bed, I guess, like over where like they keep the horses, like they call it the coach room, but it sounds like just like a stable, like yeah, like a stable house. And so they got upset with him for not going and doing work, and they set his straw mattress on fire, expecting him to jump up and like run out, but he was too sick to get up, so he literally burned in his bed.
Oh my God.
wow.
And
Jesus.
so
That's
apparently you can hear
horrible.
like sometimes you can hear him screeching. Another one of the other kids on the homestead got like hit by something and was like um mentally handicapped for the rest of his life, and because he was apparently like it messed up his head or something like that. And so because he was messed up, he couldn't function in society, so they chained him. First they chained him in the stables, but then people would go in and like kids in the neighborhood or in the town or whatever would go and like berate him and stuff like that. So then they moved him to his mother's room, where he stayed chained up in his mother's room. And so apparently you can hear him like you can hear his chains on the ground and stuff like that.
Mm.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
Yeah,
What are
and so
these like?
this Ryan family kept, like, they stayed there for a couple years and then they ended up selling it, and like some of the kids were too terrified to stay in the main house because of the stuff that was happening and the stuff that they'd heard. One of the maids apparently got pregnant from Chris Crowley and jumped off the balcony to kill herself. And like
Jeez.
apparently there's still bloodstains on the ground there, and she roams the halls. And now I think it's a museum now, so you can go in and like ghost hunters go there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm seeing like pictures that like there's like mannequins that they've set up in some of the rooms. Like that is horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It
that
looks like a
reminds
kinda
me.
cool- like it looks kind of like cool. It's like it's not run down or anything, but I guess it's a museum now, so they kind of keep
Mhm.
it like
Right.
Yeah, it's a
decent
cool
condition.
spot.
Yeah,
That
that's-
mannequin reminds me of this is actually on the way to your cottage, Connor. I forget where. I think it's near
Oh, are you talking about in Mattawa where they have the wood statues?
no, I don't think it's Mato. I think it's closer to Sturgeon Falls. Like there's like an ice cream truck beside this huge, like almost barn shaped store. Maybe it's Deep River. But anyway, Jess and I stopped there one time and went up into the store to go to the bathroom. The bathroom is on the second floor. And so the bottom floor is just a convenience store, but you have to go upstairs. And so we go upstairs and it's just packed with like old shit. Like these guys must have been hoarders or something. And there's just antiques everywhere. But then there's this cleared out location, in the middle of the room, right across from the bathrooms. And it's just a long dining table. And the full table is set and a bunch of mannequins with the creepiest smiles I've ever seen sitting all around this table. And like half of them are just like facing towards the stairs, just with these horrendous smiles on them. So I'm just going up the stairs, gotta take a crap. Uh, go up the stairs and see this horrifying scene out of a freaking horror movie of all these mannequins sitting around a table. And I was like, yep, okay, I think I can hold it to the next gas station.
I was gonna say I thought that'd help you relieve yourself because you like almost shit your pants,
Oh,
when you see
no.
that.
No, it was creepy up there, dude.
Dude.
Good thing it had big ass windows because there's a
Yeah,
lot of light. But
You wanna know would have been sketch if you went to the bathroom and then you're leaving, you kind of like just take a peek over and all the faces are staring at you.
yeah,
That would
imagine.
be
No,
so
that'll be
sketch.
worse. Well, that would be worse. But if they had moved places,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or if they were all gone. Oh,
Oh
You
my
know,
god.
You know
that
what,
would be
this is-
worse. That would be worse.
all of these haunted stories. I'm surprised none of us spoke about the haunted locations and haunted sightings from the Conjuring movies, because those movies are based on true stories.
I've
So,
never
like,
even
No.
seen those actually, dude.
so like the
whack.
Amityville horror is like a house, I forget where in the United States. That's like the first movie,
Which one?
and then the Amityville horror.
Oh, okay, right.
And then
I
there's
think-
the one that happened in
yeah.
London, and then
I think Annabelle is the creepiest of the bunch.
Annabelle Creation's fucked.
But
Amityville.
Wait, how is that based on
Oh,
a
it's
true
Long
story? Isn't
Island.
that one about a doll?
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
it's this demonic spirit has attached itself to the doll.
Yeah, I think it is based on a true doll.
Oh, it is.
Um,
Yeah, yes.
yeah, it's
Annabelle,
like encased.
there is an actual Annabelle doll in real life.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
there
in
is.
this like glass case that
Mhm.
no one can open, or
Mhm.
else she'll get loose and kill you all.
Well, it's
Dude,
not,
that
yeah,
reminds me of there's
How is that a
a
true story? There's no way dolls killed people. Like that's just impossible.
no. I'm just saying it's based on a
no,
real
there are-
doll.
No. The story goes is that this girl who had this doll died, and then whoever had that doll after she died,
Also died.
yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
So like a cursed doll. It reminds me of a Vsauce video talking about creepy things and like the nature of why things are creepy.
Oh yes,
Um,
like it's like the visual response to the unknown.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
uncanny valley thing. Because the thumbnail for the video is a teddy bear, but with an entire set of human teeth just grinning.
Ah,
And it's
ah.
like it is really cool because he dove into the psychology of like why we find those things creepy, like mannequins and dolls and clowns and stuff like that. And it was basically how he explained it was that there's this cognitive dissonance that happens when we see something that's like our brain
Not
recognizes it as vaguely human, but
not
something
quite.
is off. Yeah, not quite human. And you perceive some kind of a threat, but there's no physical threat to yourself because you know that it's mostly of the same nature as you are, but something's off. So you feel like that fight or flight response. So like masks are creepy for that reason because they obscure the face and you can't quite tell what that
Mhm.
person is
Mhm.
thinking. Clowns for the same reason.
Trying to
The
rationalize the
makeup.
confusion. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the I wish we could play that video right now because there's so many images that he uses in it. Everyone should just go watch it. I think it's called like Why Are Things Creepy or something, but it's got all these images throughout it that are just perfect, that just really give you that feeling as soon as you look at it. Like one I think is a human boy and like sitting at like a picnic with his mom, but the mom is just this horrifying like doll face, like smiling at the camera with her head
Oh
tilted.
no.
And it's like it's just really interesting how we're creeped out by that,
I have goosebumps real bad.
Well,
yeah, it's like
there are just so many creepy places in general on Earth, and this also makes me think about Chernobyl and why there haven't been so many reports of paranormal activity coming from there, and it's probably just
mhm.
because not many people are around there.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
Yeah, kind of unrelated.
Dude, I was gonna
Chernobyl,
say,
the HBO miniseries.
A beautiful show,
In
amazing show.
I think that's the only miniatures that I would give a 10 out of 10.
Agreed,
Oh
agreed.
yeah,
It
I'm
is
so
still
good.
phenomenal. It is a great reenactment of what
I've watched
happened.
it 2 or 3 times. It's so good.
yeah.
Incredible.
I remember seeing the first episode at your place, Phil, but I haven't watched it since. But I
Right.
So
will.
good.
I
dude,
must.
So good.
I like when you talk about Chernobyl, Ryan, like that just reminds me if you're interested to like go and like see what's up, like I was reading a couple of Reddit chains about it, like just like random stories. I mean, like it's on Reddit, so who knows if it's like true or someone's just trying to like yank your chains or whatever. But there's some good stuff. Like I was reading one of these stories, and the guy's like talks about finding this like hell, and then there is like a door in the middle of this hell, and it's like all gated off, and it says like do not enter, do not enter. And so they, like curious people are gonna go and enter and be like, "Cool, I wonder what's over
Course.
here."
Do not enter. That
Do
just
not
makes me
enter.
want to
Okay.
enter.
Yeah, the unrelated, but the funniest thing is like if there's a fine for something, it just means it's legal with a price tag.
Mhm.
True.
But anyways,
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
true.
the story is like, yeah, so he goes up and he sees this iron door, but it's like it's been welded like closed, so obviously you can't get in. And then so like searching around, sees another door, welded again, and then another big steel like what you'd see on like a submarine with like the crank, like you
Oh yeah,
crank it down.
the circular wheel to open the door. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And so and it's got like a top lock and a bottom lock, and so they try and heave it, and like after a couple minutes, it gets loose, and so they're able to crank it open. And again, this is a Reddit story, so I don't know how credible it is. But yeah, so they go in, and it's like a not a tunnel. Yeah, it's like a manhole cover or whatever, where you like crawled, like where you step down the ladder or like the
Yeah,
rungs
yeah.
or
I'm
whatever.
following.
So they go down, and it looks like everyone just left everything, or sorry, that everyone just like cleaned up and left, and then it's just been like abandoned or whatever. Like, but all the doors are wide open, but there's no like you know, tables set, but there's no food out or anything like that. Like offices are in nice spick and span condition. There's no papers on the table or anything like that. And then they go down another floor, and this floor down, it's a little bit different. It's like it looks a little bit more chaotic. Like there's papers on the ground, and it looks like people were kind of like leaving in a rush a little bit. And so they go, oh, this is weird, whatever. And they go on to the next level, and it looks even worse.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's like a 10-minute read, so I'm kind of like, you know, Cole's notes.
Paraphrasing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And but yeah, so apparently like it's even crazier. And then like they just started to feel like the hairs on the back of their neck stick up, like they're getting a little bit worried. And then like they start hearing noises.
Oh.
And I guess what they did was they called their buddy before, who's like from like that area, not from Chernobyl, but like from around that area. It's like, hey, I'm not, like, it was like a voice message, I guess. He's like, hey, I'm going here tomorrow. Just letting you know, like, if I don't return, something's up. This is where I am. Come get me. Da 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 da. And so as things like wore on and it got worse and worse and worse, he like kind of checked his phone, and he sees a text. He's like 4 or 5 missed calls, and he sees a text from the guy that he left the voicemail with, and he's like, dude, do not go in there under any circumstance. And if you're reading this, get out right now.
Oh.
So he's like, I'm on my way or something like that. So he's like, oh, whatever. And then they hear more noises, and so they just book it. They just absolutely book it back up where they came from. And the guy that left the Reddit, like the thing in Reddit is like, yeah, I was running as fast as I could. I didn't even know if my buddy was on my heels or not. It just felt like I felt a weird feeling, so I was just trying to get out as soon as I could. And they were like closing the doors as they went, just to make sure that no one was following them, I guess. And then at one point, they left the door a little bit open and put like a can or something like that on the top of the door. And then like they heard it, like they heard like the or whatever, like it hit the ground. So they knew that there was something there. And yeah, like the second guy, he didn't know where he was, but he ended up like the one guy that left the story is like, yeah, I made it to the top, and then I closed the door. I didn't know where my buddy was, but if I heard a knock, I would have opened it or whatever. He might be still down there. I don't know if I should go back and get him or not.
What?
Yeah, fucked up. And then the guy that
Yee.
texted him came and picked him up, and that's kind of where it ended. So that's
wild.
a crazy Reddit story for you, but
That
So
is-
basically, he was in there and then he went and got some backup, but then was like, yo, like, don't reach, like, it's whack.
Nice summary. He went in and then he was like, yo, don't reach, it's whack. That could be anywhere. That could be Rito Street McDonald's.
yeah,
Yeah.
raccoons.
Back in the raccoon days. Holy.
Yeah, you know when the tactical unit just pulls up outside of McDonald's, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're in the wrong spot.
an-
Everyone
if
from
anybody-
Ottawa will know what we mean.
If anyone
Mhm.
doesn't know about the raccoons, yeah, there's a McDonald's in Ottawa.
Dude, we were
And-
there for that. Who else was there that night?
The
Were
baby
you-
Three-
raccoon?
Yeah.
There's three occasions that this has happened. That
Oh.
some dude's walked in with a trench coat and attacked people with his pet raccoon.
Oh, I
that
thought it
he
was
keeps in his
once.
trench coat.
Bronson
I'm
one was
from
crazy.
Ottawa, and that is the first time I heard that.
No
Really?
way.
Yeah,
Only
I've
in
never
Canada.
heard about it.
Dude, it
Never
was
heard about
all
it.
over. It was all over.
Dude, they closed the Rito Street McDonald's at like 9 o'clock now because there's just been
Right? Yeah,
sad-
I've always heard it was a sketchy place, but I didn't hear about this fucking raccoon.
It was
man.
sketchy. Like, why was it like a hole in the wall? Like, why'd you have to go down that weird tunnel to get in? Like,
Yeah, dude, that's the other thing. If you're going from the bars, it's literally like a 3-minute. It's like this like mini. It's like a little bit of a ramp, but you literally have to walk. It's like 2 feet wide. You're just squeezing past people,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's like a 3-minute walk, like through this random like alley thing, ramp thing, and then boom, you're in like a normal McDonald's.
It's horrible.
But it's not normal because so much sketchy shit happens there all the time. That's why they close it down.
Yeah.
If
Also,
we
yeah, go ahead, Phil.
if we want to keep this trend going, because I'm really enjoying these conversations. Cam, you may know a bit more about it, but I would love next episode to talk about that that famous prison experiment.
Oh, the Stanford one?
The Stanford
Yes.
prison
Oh
experiment.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
good
that's actually a
idea.
good
Good idea.
topic.
Yeah, we can go into that, into the psychology of that and talk about power and
Yep.
corruption of
We
Messed up-
definitely we
yeah,
won't
messed up
spoil it
psycho-
because it is a tremendous story.
It is. It's very revealing about human nature.
We could.
And,
I would love to have a discussion on different messed up psychological experiments that happened in
oh,
the late 90s.
okay. I'm gonna
and
add that
mid-90s.
to the topic list. Also, if you guys have any ideas, we did an episode a while back on psychedelics. That was a fan idea. So, our socials are always linked in the descriptions of these. If anyone's listening and you have something you want to hear us discuss, like one of your favorite topics of strange or mysterious things or whatever, just, follow the links to our socials, DM us, comment on our posts, whatever, and we will talk about it. I've got a big list here of topics, but I always, I think
Literally
we always
anything.
want suggestions, right? So
Yeah, if there's any topic, doesn't need to be anything in specific that you want us to discuss, we'll definitely dive in and we could do story times and stuff like that if that's something of interest to people as well, if they want to hear a little bit about our lives and stuff. But anyways,
yeah, we can do something like that.
like, comment, listen, hit the bell, take care, brush your hair.